tell you guys a story that's actually Yu-Gi-Oh related. I know I normally don't do it, but I like this one a lot. There was a point in time where I just couldn't go to any local level events because none of them were in my immediate area. When I did start going, I had to travel about 4 hours just to get to a local event. And this was buses. Buses were completely terrible in Vegas at the time. And 4 hours just to get back. So the opportunities for me to participate in events were far and few between. This was at the time of a Blackwing format. Dark Strike Fighter was one of the hottest cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you left your opponent into a particular situation, they'd be able to OTK you by inflicting enough damage to make a Dark Strike Fighter in their main phase 2 and completely wipe out the rest of your life points. With this in mind and knowing that I didn't have a lot of chances to go to locals, which means that I couldn't get a good scope on the meta, I decided not to play meta. I played an anti-meta hero-like deck. It involved skill drains, elemental hero Neos aliases, captain goals to get your sky strikers, and of course, your sky strikers, your skyscrapers, and of course, honest, just to beat over those collude situations. Going into the event, nobody knew me. This was a very new locals, or at least to me, it was called Top Deck Gaming all the way across the world, and participating in the tournament, everybody underestimated me. This was a 60-man event, and of course, I was playing some scrubby elemental hero deck. I wound up not only not losing a single game into the very finals, the person that I lost to just so happened to come second in the World Championship event. Was it just Worlds? I think it was just Worlds. He wound up coming second in Worlds. This is a testament to underrated decks. Sometimes people can look at your deck and think that, oh, it's trash, but what they don't understand is that it can fulfill a specific function that can allow you to beat the meta decks. Skill Drain allow me to negate their monster effects. Honest allow me to win almost every single battle. And of course, Skyscraper made my monsters stronger than theirs initially. It put me in a really good spot. In this video, we're going to be doing the exact same thing, explaining why these underrated decks can top a high-level event, possibly even win nationals. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go ahead and hit the notification bell because, well, we just two-stroke. Also want to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. Also, a mad shout out to our newest Patreons, Nick Shoop and Connor Robison. Welcome to the clan. Make sure you add yourself to that Discord as well as message me so I can get you to the top dog so you can take advantage of all your rewards. Without further ado, I present to you the most underrated decks in the June 2019 format. And just maybe these decks can have an underdog story like myself and win a national level event. The best thing about underratedness is that a lot of times they just don't see you coming. That low-level deck or the deck that they didn't see as a contender definitely should have some aspects of it to be able to beat those meta decks. This strategy list is going to include some of the decks, but not every single one. That's why I need you guys' help. I want you to post down below in the comment section, what deck do you think is a very powerful underrated deck that could possibly top or win a national level event? But don't just stop there. I want you guys to post the reasons why, as I would be saying the reasons why these decks have a really good chance against the meta. The next strategy we are going to be talking about is the exact same deck that I lost to in that finals in 2008. Blackwings has evolved from a deck that inflict a massive amount of damage to summoning Dark Strike Fighter on its main phase 2 and finishing off into a more refined type of deck. Having a new boss monster in Blackwing Full Armor Master, it can rival the banned masterpiece in the once banned Pluckley 4 Towers. Reason being is that it does keep the same stipulation, being unaffected by all other card effects. But to make matters worse, this card has a mind control-like ability by taking monsters for free to your side of the field. The only requirement is to have a wedge counter on it. What if I were to tell you the card to actually make this card can place a wedge counter on it? This is a one card synchro more often than not that can be a mind control and be unaffected by card effects. If that weren't to make matters worse, Blackwings have one of the best search cards in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh game. A lot of cards in this Yu-Gi-Oh card game are either once per turns or hard once per turns, meaning that you may need a second copy of said card to be able to gain the exact same search, or sometimes, even if you did have the exact same copy, you wouldn't be able to activate it in that turn. Black Whirlwind is a little different. As long as you can normal summon Blackwing monsters to your side of the field, you will get a search. And one would think, hey, TheCaliEffect, that's pretty much a heart once per turn. You can only normal summon once. Well, Blackwings have more than one way to summon, or normal summon for that matter. In fact, Blackwings are one of the very few decks that can normal summon 3 times in one turn. Blackwings have everything going for them. Being a dark archetype, as long as you can put 2 monsters to your side of the field, you can even play your PK or Orcus combos. Blackwings are one of the very first decks to be able to special summon monsters and moss to your side of the field. And the fact that it's dark, it plays so well with whatever you're trying to do. I wouldn't say that Blackwing isn't on anyone's radar. It's already topped a few events here and there. But to take it to a national level event and be able to top or win with it? Oh man, I don't think anyone would see that coming. The next strategy was heralded as one of the best decks of the format coming into this Forbidden list. While it did lose Summon Sorceress, Miscellaneous Ceres III was to hopefully excel the deck into a new height. True King had everything to gain from it. Why? Because Aghanism, it required fire monsters to destroy, and not only was Miscellaneous Ceres a hand trap to protect your Soul Eating Oviraptor, it could also special summon monsters like Baby Ceres to your side of the field, which the True King Aghanism it did feed on. On top of that, of course, Miscel was a fire type, which could be abused by the True King himself. Unfortunately, the deck didn't do as hot as people would suspect, and most of the players decided to throw the deck to the wayside in hopes of playing more competitive or other stable decks. And that's where I think people did sleep on. True King of all calamities is still a very powerful card. Being able to negate or turn off all monster effects or turn your opponent's entire board into one attribute can be very deadly. I mean, imagine turning your opponent's monsters all to dark only to have a super polymerization in your hand to follow up with. On top of that, the deck still has not lost its luster. Being able to activate Dragonic Diagram to destroy babies in your hand has an infinite amount of possibilities. The new Dark Neostorm set gave us some really good reliable monsters to make rank 9s with, but it also gave us It Will Challenge Justiciar, which just so happens to be a water monster to play really nice with our True King Basiltros. The deck can still make Naturia Beast with ease, which is really powerful not only against Sky Striker, but actually subtly good against some of the other decks that need their spell cards to be able to continue on with their plays. On top of that, the deck has access to the best main deck staple in Yu-Gi-Oh! On the drop of a dime in Dino Wrestler Prankatrops. Being able to disrupt your opponent, a lot of players play this card as a going second card because obviously you want to summon it when your opponent controls more monsters. Well, Double Evolution Pill gives you access to Dino Wrestler Prankatrops as another form of disruption, and on top of that, it feeds your graveyard to have a dinosaur monster and a non-dinosaur monster for your follow-up Double Evolution Pill. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno can still attack every single one of your opponent's monsters at once and flip them face down before they can make their link plays. True King Dinos are still the king of dinos and still are one of the more powerful decks in the format. I can see it topping multiple national level events throughout the summer. If you guys were to talk to me a couple of months ago, I probably wouldn't be having the exact same praise for Trickstar. But let's face it, Trickstar is often seen as a very degenerate burn deck that just so happens to have one of the cheekiest, sackiest combos in the game inside of Trickstar Reincarnation and Duel and Lockbird. But now that we have progressed in Yu-Gi-Oh!, there are certain openings that Trickstars, without the use of Trickstar Reincarnation and Duel and Lockbird, can take advantage of. Of course, you have your Trickstar Light Stage, and seeing that opponents are playing a lot of more back row reliant decks, being able to stop one of those cards for an entire turn and force them to use it or lose it during the end phase is powerful. That same Light Stage can fetch you a Trickstar Candina, which can then either get you Lycoris, Lilybell, or Coral Bane. Coral Bane, being the new card from the Savage Strike set, is not only a free body to your side of the field, it just so happens to be a level 5 light monster. So that's where the artifact cards come into play, to being able to summon Scythe or Moral Attack to further disrupt your opponent and then make cards like Durandal or your Constellar Pleiades to force your opponent into activating their effects to, guess what? Destroying more artifact cards if you so choose. I think that Artifact Trickstar is a very good variant, but that's not where it stops. You can run Trickstar's Mekk-Knights and any other variant in between. Because the engine is so small, the deck is really fun to play and has a lot of tweaks for it. I'm not saying that the Duel and Lock reincarnation combo isn't powerful. I'm saying that you can throw Duel and Lockbird to the side in favor of a deck that plays more anti-meta like. On top of that, Trickstar is probably one of the best decks when going into time because you do have your Trickstar monsters that inflict damage for every time your opponent decides to make a move. Mekk-Knight is probably one of the most disrespected decks in Yu-Gi-Oh history. Why? Because on paper, Mekk-Knights look like it's strictly going second deck. If you're going first, you're a duck in the water. Your Mekk-Knight monsters gain their effects or are allowed to special summon themselves to the side of the field by having multiple cards in the same column. And unless your opponent doesn't decide to play Yu-Gi-Oh, it would be better to go second, right? Kinda. You remember when the Goki strategy had a 2-card extra link with a Nightmare Corruptor Iblu on your opponent's side of the field? Well, Mekk-Knights have, with an additional card, a 3-card extra link to a pseudo form, putting a Nightmare Corruptor Iblu on your opponent's side of the field, saying they can't special summon unless they link summon, but guess what? They can't link summon because they can't use either column in the extra monster zones. Mekk-Knights are extremely good at making combos like that, being able to have access to World Legacy secrets and plow multiple Mekk-Knight monsters to your side of the field. You can negate any monster effect your opponent wants to activate on their side of the field, but if they just so happen to force you to go second, you remind them why Mekk-Knights are seen as a going second deck. Being able to gain the effects of Mekk-Knight Blue Sky to search multiple Mekk-Knight monsters from your deck to your hand, Indigo Eclipse gets you the free search, and on top of that brings itself back to the side of the field. This deck has massive board breaking capabilities. If you guys don't believe me, then you can go ahead and check out the Thunder Dragon versus Mekk-Knight live duel that I have, as well as the deck profile for the people that have become believers and now see how powerful this deck is. The last strategy I'm going to talk to you guys about is sweet until it becomes sour. Madolches are that deck. Anytime you have a 1-card OTK, and 1 card, ladies and gentlemen, just by normal summoning your Madolche Magellan, you can take 4 cards off your opponent's board and put exactly 8,000 damage to your side of the field. Madolche shouldn't be a deck that everyone just throws out to the side. Before the Dark Neostorm set, it was seen as a purely going second deck because that 1-card OTK. But now you can go first and set up with multiple negates. Being able to make your new Madolche Glace Souffle allows you to recur cards like Effect Veiler to your hand after you've already used it, or to be able to recur cards like Herald of Orange Light, which not only serves as a great card for disrupting your opponent, trying to disrupt your 1-card OTK, but for multiple negates. The best part about Madolches is that the engine or the entire strategy is only 20 cards, meaning that you can use the rest of the deck for being able to negate or break your opponent's board. I wouldn't sleep on Madolche. I actually just so happen to have a live duel and a deck profile on that as well, explaining the combos and showing you how powerful the deck can be. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you really did, consider joining our Patreon. We have so many awesome rewards. Also, be sure to post down below in the comment section what are the decks that I missed and why. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.